stream should have started by now, so now we just gotta go through the big ol' testing process. My favorite. Yep, there we go. Mic comes through just fine. Pop out the chat. Bring back OBS. Slot it on top. Hey, hello, Kit. How are you today? So, what was it? I did a little bit of research about the cakes, and the wikis are very barren on what they have to say about them. To a point, that it's not very descriptive of what they do. Ugh. And what was it? Organize that satchel. How have I been? I've been fine. I've been good. I didn't work. I was off today, so I didn't have to work. Can I buy them from you? I think, yeah. Okay. So, the only information I can find that's consistent is that these work as, like, any type of food, but they last longer and makes it easier to catch. And what else? But the inconsistent thing was how they worked as a lure. Mass outbreaks. So, because some places would say that it wouldn't do anything other than just act as a better food for specific Pokemon to increase catch rates. Others had it where it would directly spawn the Pokemon. Now I gotta make sure it's morning. Start the adventure with a quick nap. Yeah, I basically have to find out what they do myself, and that is the worst part. And their crafting is a bit weird, but they only cost like 400 each. So, yeah. And the thing is that the Pokemon has like 2 Wikipedias you can go to. And that's Bulbapedia and Cerebi. And usually, they have all the information you would ever need. Sometimes, one would have the information maybe set up a bit better than the other, or maybe one does something better, like one displays one type of information better, or better describes it, or straight just only has some information and the other one just doesn't even bother to list it. But then, both of them are, super, vague and non-existent about how the lores work. Even though they have, some of the most in-depth things for, some of the weirdest mechanics you can get. So, yeah. Pokemon leaves, Pokemon over there, so in theory, you throw yourself a bean cake. And not really sure what else it's supposed to do. It disappeared. Didn't even last that long. Weird. I did not change up my party whatsoever. But, oh, there's a Staraptor. So I should be able to hide. Throw out bean cake. And this should increase the chances of catching it. Maybe I should actually let it eat the food first? That probably would be a good idea. It's about 4,000 Pokedollars, looks like. Eat all of it? Oh yeah, that's way longer. Okay, let's use the Ultra Balls, because I don't have the Ultra Ball equivalent to... yeah. Okay. Caught. What? Number you caught while they were in the air? Oh. Oh no. Oh, am I? How do I get that to happen? Catch them while they're in the air. Oh no. I have a sneaking suspicion that I haven't even been in the right area to even attempt that. And if that is the case, I will simply scream. I will simply scream. Chansey onto the party. Okay. Got one idea, and if it's not what I'm thinking, then I'm gonna have to Google it. I would not think it would be this hard. Yeah. I need to return to the village. Return to the village, go to the other area where they supposedly can appear. Obsidian, go to the heights, camp. And then it should be nature's... wait. Yeah. Nature's pantry. Right around here. Catch them while they're flying. Is there a place they would be? But where? Where could they be? This is the one thing I don't like about this game, is that Pokedex locations are very, very vague. Yeah, gotta be in the air. So you gotta catch them while they're flying. But the question then becomes, where do they fly? Or is it like something completely different and it's just really poorly worded? I would not be surprised if it was just poorly worded. Okay, hold on. So I managed to go through effectively this entire area and find not a single Staraptor flying. Okay, run away a little bit. Run away just enough and hide in grass. Shouldn't you be the one flying? No, because if I start flying, then I can't use items. So not even the like lightweight Pokeballs even work. So. So, okay, hold on. Okay, I might not be looking in the right spot. Okay, so the Pokemon quite literally are just in the air flying. The problem is that I don't see no Staraptor. That's kind of a problem. I hate that I have to like look up a tutorial. These are the cliffs east of Nature Pantry. East? Or south of Windbreak Stand. Where's Windbreak? Unless one breaks this one area I didn't discover. Oh, there's Alpha. Something I'm looking for. Oh, wait. I went west. I went west because I'm stupid. I'm not built different, I'm just built wrong. Somewhere where the video says it should be. The Staravia. There it is. There's our Staraptor. Oh. God. Oh. I hit it first try. I caught it first try. Oh. Oh. Oh, but because it's a... Alright, hold on. If I do that, will it get rid of... Okay, so that does get rid of my old marker. I think this is something I am gonna have to just hard, like, sleep for, because it would be faster if I did it this way. Okay, but now I understand that if it asks me to catch a Pokemon that's flying, that it's literally flying out and about. Like to rest, make it till nightfall. Okay. That is good to know. However, I still need to beat the ever-loving crap out of a Staraptor using rock moves. Because that is... Yeah. Defeat it using rock-type moves. I need to do that 13 more times. And then I just gotta basically use Air Slash and Brave Bird so many times. So I get stuck on the tent. Game. Okay. So I think the part that will just ultimately take the longest out of doing any Pokedex entry, however, 9 out of 10 times, I'm pretty sure it's going to be just making it use certain moves. Like that will genuinely take forever. Whoa. That ball throws off. Thinks it's a little background like right here, so if you go like this and just whiff. What? Okay, and I cannot aim. There we go. I'm gonna have to make more balls. Okay. Very simple indeed. Rest till evening. Until nightfall. I wish it was this easy just to like fall asleep. I think a lot of people would enjoy the ability of just like, yeah, you're gonna nap for like only a few hours and then you wake up in those few hours and it's just glorious. Ugh. Ugh. Tired. Tired. Always tired. So I decided that the best time to stream would be, just to be consistent, would be at like around 10:30, because I don't get off of work usually till 9. I gotta make sure I have time to do things for myself. Oh. Oh, he broke free? I'm wasting all my balls. we go. Yep, there it goes on my balls. And hopefully I have the stuff to make and or buy more. Especially since, because I became rank 8, I can now make jet balls, which are basically the Ultra Ball equivalents. And I am out of tumblestones. Can I buy some tumblestones? No, and you only sell me a wing ball. Oh boy. I know resource farming was gonna have to be something I was gonna have to do at some point, but if I can't catch enough of these Star Raptors, I might just have to just make this Star Raptor using a bunch of moves type of stream. Ooh, that one makes me angry. I watched that Pokeball drop all the way through. This game's gonna make me, like, figure out the best ways to grind, like, each type of tumblestone and stuff. There's no way, like, I'm not gonna have to learn how to do that. It's that, or I start doing, like, money exploits for the game. Oh my god. Ah! No! No! Oh my god. Okay. Now I gotta think. Think for a second. So, 100% gonna have to farm for more resources. That's just an inevitability. The question is how I want to farm those resources. Because either I could farm them... So my thought process is that there's an exploit for this game that still works. And it all comes about from setting your Pokemon free, because they give you the different levels of grit. And so what you want to do is that you can basically glitch the game to give you so much more. We're farming. That's gonna be like my own off time thing. My God, I don't think I'm gonna do that on stream. That would be terrible. So we're definitely gonna have to try to do the rock thing first. But if we look, I have so many pastures of so many Pokemon. A lot of them are duplicates of Pokemon I realistically do not need. And so if I can just abuse the game's mechanics that they never patched, I can get so much grit and then sell it and almost max out the money for this game. And all it really does is like, you just need a box full of, like, I think like level 40 something Pokemon, which from catching Machokes, like, they're easy to find, they're not that hard to catch, and I can find tons of them. So build up like a bunch of Machokes, sell them off basically, and then I can get a lot of grits for money, which then I could use to buy literally anything in the game, almost anything in the game. Or I do it legitimate. And honestly, I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do. Oh, gold nugget, that's cool. Because either way, I feel like I would go insane. But I'm gonna have to do something to get a bunch of resources, but till then, I gotta go Star Raptor hunting. And the problem with Staraptor is that it's already a really high, like, not high, a low spawn rate. Yeah. Gotta go turn to the village because the other location's better because it's actually a Staraptor you can battle. But the problem is that you're not even guaranteed that one would spawn, and if it does spawn, only one spawns at a time. I got Pokemon I don't need in my party, so I gotta swap that out. Going to go insane. All the pastures. All my pastures are filling up. You know, I'm curious. That's not what I wanted. Yep, know it. It was just like any other Pokemon game where if you get enough, if you put one Pokemon into every box, it will then automatically make more boxes. Yep, saw that one coming. Crap, what's a Pokemon I'm gonna grab? Grab Lexio, why not? What? I was still multi-select, that's why. Okay. This is going to be very long, a very, very long process for a very long game. To the point that, unironically, I will be spending more time completing the Pokedex than I will be playing the story. And honestly, I think that's exactly how they intended this game to be played. It's just such a slow process, but I mean, you put like an hour or two into it, and then it just doesn't feel that bad, but then you just gotta do that so many times. But not every Pokemon is going to be this bad. There are going to be Pokemon that will be this bad. Not every Pokemon is going to be this bad. I think that's something I'm gonna have to just remind myself. Also, I need to remember, if I ever see a sparkly one of these, I need to break it because it gives me Stardust. And Stardust is money. And money is good, and that is going to send out a Pokemon, but I also need blue Sky Stones. Or Tumblestones. Start a fight with Graveler? Oh no, I don't want to have a fight with either one of them, so I'm just gonna run away. And now we're gonna run through this because there has to be a Staraptor around here somewhere. Where's that Staraptor? Staraptor over here? No, it's a Starly though. And not what I'm after. And the Staraptor didn't even spawn. Hi prep. And join in for the madness. Join for the madness. Well, okay, here's something I can be decently confident in, is that there is not very many spawn locations for Staraptor, and so not many there's like 2 spots that can spawn, so there's only like 2 spots I have to clear out and then reset, which is near the ship and this spot right here. Also, prep sign. It's 9. How's your day been? Because this is gonna be the day of a little bit of everything needs to be done. Hey, Staraptor's already spawned. Ooh. fancy. Fancy boy. Well, time to kill DK for no reason. What did DK do? Yeah, that's not even enough to kill. Oh, that doesn't even matter. Still a good bit of damage, though. What? He keeps using Roost. Okay, I've had enough of this nonsense. Strong style Stealth Rocks. And that won't count as beating it with a rock move. Means I cannot rely on using Stealth Rocks, I need to rely on using Rock Slide. It's 90 accuracy. Dunk nerd. What? Rock type moves. I did not notice that one over now. Okay, that was interesting though that it actually filled in the spot. Yeah, you run away. You run away. That was weird. Staraptor spawned in so quick. Dunk mid. P versus Z replanted good or dad? So here's the thing. When it comes down to making a remake, like, it comes down to the idea of retelling the same story, but with, but in modern, but more modern, would be the way to describe it. And so, with Plants vs. Zombies, making a remake for that is an interesting idea. Because you take a very beloved game that is still available on Steam. Like, you can go onto Steam right now, buy a copy of it, and play it. But, and it still works all the way through. 100% all the way through, it just works. So, with doing a remake, I don't know what exactly you could get out of doing a remake. Kings or Kermlings? What? Longs. Kongs. What are these words? What is this dark language that you are speaking to me? I'm scared. I can't even say that Plants vs. Zombies runs bad on modern hardware because it runs flawless on modern hardware. Modern hardware. Kongs or Kermlings. I don't get the reference. I don't get the joke. I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. I I do not know your words. I do not understand your sayings, Magic Man. Oh, cat wants in. Hi, Munchie. Hi, kitty. Staple of coming in and out of my own room. Oh, I've never... Wait, Donkey Kong is a Kong. Okay, that makes sense. King K. Rool is a Kremling, which is a... Oh, okay. I was confused on Kremling, because Kremling was the one thing that just, like, made no sense. Okay. And yes, Kitty did come in through window. Kitty always comes in through window. I don't know why. Like, the only reason they figured out that I will let them in through the window is because the first winter that I lived in this house that I'm in now, I had to completely sealed up the back door. And so the only way to let them in and out was to open up the window. And so because of that, they have now just learned that the window is just a viable way of getting my attention to let them in and out. Because for a while, that's how I did that. So Kong or Kremling? I'd have to go with Kremling. Kremling is what I would go with. Why does it use a healing move before the fight even starts? I don't understand. And I still don't know if it would be better to just, like, constantly reset, or like, try to beat everything up and then try to, like, reset the cycles. And I don't even know a good way to even reset the cycles. I thought this game would be simple, of just go through and just complete the Pokedex as you go. And it's just, no, it's so much more of a chore. So much nuance in this. Why does my Japanese kid game, this Japanese children's game, need to be so complicated? It is unnecessarily complicated in how its mechanics work. There are Kongs, Kremlings, ostriches, elephants, snakes, zebras. Yeah. There's a lot. What? How can I... How can I trigger the resets easier? And then there's just... During the day, there's just this entire patch of just almost nothing. Now, it's respawning. Something respawned. Wish there's Trembling Elder and DK Bonanza. Huh. Yeah. I have yet to play DK Bonanza. I don't even have DK Bonanza, but I've heard so much about it. And I honestly should pick it up. we've respawned. I also technically walked out of the area. Every time I keep going into this, I think that I have enough information. I should be able to get myself going. Apparently, the one thing I heard is that the game is so open-ended on how you can do things that the main gimmick of you gain different transformations can be skipped, apparently, and that there's even a secret ending that you can only get by never using or collecting any of the Bonanza powers. Meaning that the team at Nintendo who developed that found a way to get to the ending and beat the final boss or whatever. I haven't seen much of the game. Without needing to use any of the powers. And instead of patching it or changing it so that you have to use all the powers and stuff, instead they made it so that there's instead there's actually a secret ending. And I think I remember correctly, the secret ending is basically Pauline is homeless at the end of it. Which is kind of messed up, but you also automatically just unlock all the powers. Meaning that once speedrunning for that game picks up, speedrunning will genuinely just be go straight to the final boss, skip all the powers, and then just beat the boss like that. Go, Kitty. Go out the window. Window's open, Kitty. Now nothing wants to respawn? Ay. This game's spawn mechanics. Chatot? Yeah, number defeated. Yeah, if I defeat one more Chatot, gotta do it with electric moves as well. Gotta defeat them with... What does it take to force them to respawn? I don't even know if this Luxio even has electric moves, but why not? Perfect, it has Thunder Fang. Have my own Pokemon bite me. Got something in my eye. Oh no. There we go. Okay, let's do some mandatory evolution. At least get a few of them to evolve. Swap out some Pokemon. Bring my own Staraptor into things so that I can start making it use the moves it needs to use. Chances, because then that's an easy way of getting listens. plenty of blissies. Yeah, I think that would be the smart thing to do, because thing is that running all the moves. No, I don't want to sleep right now. I want to see my Pokemon. Because if supposedly the best way to cycle is to basically beat them all up, then I'm gonna have to start making sure I actually have the Pokemon that have moves that need to be used. So, why did I do that? Ugh. The more tired I get, the more irrational I become. So, boom. Here's my Staraptor. It's already know the moves that I need it to. And yeah. Because the moves either were just going to be just something where I just sit down casually and be like, hey, watch me just use this move like 1,000,001 times until, you know, I get all the usages in. Or that's something I would just, you know, I don't know, maybe do off camera. But mixing in a little bit with what I gotta do, in theory, would make the most sense. I just wish Staraptor had more spawn location. Because you think it would be able to spawn more often, because it's the goddamn national, like, it's the regional bird of Sinnoh. Like, that's kind of its thing, is that it's the regional bird. So you think that it would be, that Staraptor at least would be almost everywhere, all of the time. But no. It's barely anywhere. It's not even in the higher level areas. So I gotta use Air Slash. Air Slash and Brave Bird. Air Slashium and Brave Birdium. The one Staraptor that I know where it guarantees to spawn, because it's a flying Staraptor, you can't start proper combat with it. Because you can't start proper combat with it, you can't just use it as a quick and easy farm. Now, that Chansey can evolve. Supposedly. There's a level 85 Staraptor coming your way. Yep, now I got 2 Chanseys that can evolve into Blissies. Seen used air slash 8 times. Let's go. Hey. Alright. Air slash 20 times. My god. Alright. Trying to think. Something to say, something to do. Something to say, something to do. Trying to think. Ever since the Switch came out back in like 2017, there has been not really much of a console war, but definitely more of a handheld war. Handheld war. What markers did he have as a kid? I never really had markers in my own household. If we ever did, it was always my mom's. And so, oh god. I'm trying to remember the ones that I would see at school all the time. Oh my god, what kind of markers did I have at school? That would have been the only time I really had markers. And where are all the Pokemon? Seems weird. This game's so weird. Was it a gel or the smelly ones? Trying to think. It was never like smelly as in like they were scented. No, smelly as in like you pop open the cap and then it was like a heap of chemicals in your face. Then yes. But never really had a gel marker. I'm trying to think what the brand was now, because it wasn't like some generic brand, because it was like some big market. Okay, now I gotta look at this. Like, look into this now. Because it wasn't Crayola. No, it wasn't Crayola. It wasn't the ones that labeled Sharpie either. It wasn't those. God, I'm trying to remember what the brand was. Marker brands. What kind of brands are there? Because I feel like if I can see like the brand I'm thinking of. No, I never had glitter. Glitter was the one thing I never had. I could just like go back. Like think. Just one specific brand thinking of, and I just can't remember what it was called. Every school I went to had one, had some. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was called. Why don't I remember? Why don't I remember? That's like a thought I won't be able to get out of my head for the night. What brand of markers did the schools I went to use? That's gonna sit rent-free in my mind. That's gonna sit so rent-free in my mind. My God. Because it was like regular dry erase markers. But it was like a very specific brand. Yes, Expo. That was the brand. Expo. That was the brand of fucking markers. Oh, I remember these so much. Yes, Expo dry erase markers. Oh, such a memory of those things. They're like that and like Sharpies were the only markers every school I went to ever had. Expo and Sharpies. That's it. If if you found a marker that wasn't one of those, either it was something a kid brought in or you're in the art classroom. Which I never really was in art class. I got 3 different art classes in 1 year. I failed all of them. I'm terrible at art. The thumbnails I make for my streams and videos now are literally just screenshots of me playing the game. Like, to a point that they are individual frames I take out of videos. So, me failing 3 art classes is something that's, weirdly enough, not that surprising to, like, think about. So right here that spawns, so I try to focus on beating Pokemon up here more. And then it doesn't spawn. So then we go, we take a naps. What was it? Trying to think. The way I have to make my thumbnails is weird. Because if you look at them, you think I'm just taking just a raw screenshot and then just like putting in the number. Not exactly. Like, it is a cropped image. Because it's mostly for file sizes, because YouTube has a upload limit for your thumbnail. If it's past a certain amount of megabytes, it will not accept it as a thumbnail. So at a certain point, all my thumbnails are 1280 by 720, thus meaning that they're all 720p. And I'm trying to think. And other than them being 720p, they're all JPEGs. They are all JPEGs. Like, I haven't made a PNG in forever, and that is because PNGs have a really easy time of being absolutely bloated in file sizes, so I cannot trust a PNG. So they are all JPEGs. They are cropped and are JPEGs, just so that I could actually, like, have them not be a large enough file size so that YouTube won't yell at me. There's no way I don't have to evolve a bunch of Magikarp. I'm just gonna take these Magikarp with me because there's no way I don't have to evolve a bunch of Magikarp. I know there's like hold on. I know there's like something with the Magikarp Pokedex entry. Where is it? It's near the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Magikarp. Caught. Large specimen caught. Defeated. Splash. Given food. Numbers you've obtained. Numbers you've evolved. Yep. Okay, I was right about that. I need to evolve like 10 of them. So I'm going to evolve some as my side hustle. Rest of the evening. But creating thumbnails with the way that I make them is relatively simple. I cannot make anything super complex. Purely for the fact that the art software I'm using is Microsoft's Paint 3D, which was supposed to be the direct sequel to Microsoft Paint, or MS Paint, and no one liked Paint 3D because they tried to advertise the 3D part of it, and the 3D part of it sucks. If they didn't advertise the 3D part as the main function, you have an objectively better software that if you still want that original Microsoft Paint feeling, you can just reduce the resolution or reduce the size of the canvas, and you can just paint it like regular Microsoft Paint, except you have a much better variety of both base colors and a lot easier time of eyedropping and adding in new colors. Paint 3D does everything that Microsoft Paint can do, but like better and more updated. And the only problem with it is that whoa. That's an alpha, and that's cool. The only problem with Paint 3D is that no one wanted to accept Paint 3D, and earlier this year, Microsoft canned it. That was like last year they did it. So, the Paint 3D I have on my computer is probably going to be one of the last remaining specimens of Paint 3D, maybe ever. You're a big boy. Oh, big girl. Level 50? Oh my god. That's a big girl right there. Gotta hit them with Rock Slide. Nothing else would be strong enough. There we go. Oh, and a crit. Good. Level 50 in this kind of area with an Alpha Staraptor was not what I expected to see today. So that's that was cool to see. I need my Staraptor out so then that way it can do Staraptor shenanigans. And then we can go back and see more mandatory evolution. Pokemon be like that. Now, if I wanted a different art software, the Microsoft Store does technically have a list of really good ones. I don't know if I can trust them. And I don't know how simple or easy it would be to make my thumbnails using that software. Because for the most part, I think using like an actual like image or screenshot from the video is still going to be my main way of making thumbnails. I think that's just how a lot of people just make their thumbnails, because you use that as the base and it's just like it's from the game. Kind of either the funniest or the most important part of it. Or at least whatever part you want the thumbnail to focus on. And then you just gotta add a little pizzazz to it. So what I'm doing is, for the most part, not very technically advanced. And like, that's how everyone does it. But at the same time, with a better like software, I probably could make a better thumbnails. Because sometimes, like, I want to make a thumbnail for something that's a bit more complicated, and then Paint 3D holds me back so much. But I love Paint 3D. Paint 3D has just always kind of been there for me. It's just that random art app I just want to open up for whatever reason, and it's there for me. It's great. But now it's no longer available because Microsoft is stupid. And it's going to be like that for quite a while. It just works. But yeah. And the best part of Paint 3D is that it's absolutely free. It was absolutely free to download. Now it only exists as a piece of legacy software that when Windows 12 inevitably comes out, it will most likely not even like support Paint 3D, because why would it? Why would it? Paint 3D doesn't exist to Microsoft anymore. And now that we did the things, we gotta do the mandatory evolution. Let's watch 4 Magikarp evolve now. Thus getting me both of Gyarados forms, eventually. Meaning, I never have to catch Gyarados. I just need to evolve 10 Magikarp. I still love that it says, got an idea for a new move instead of just learning a new move. I wish I could skip. Out of all the Pokemon games, this is the one game that I really think should have had a skip button for evolution. Like, it makes sense it doesn't have a cancel button because you have to you have to initiate the evolution itself directly. Like, I can't just press on the Pokemon, hit evolve, and it would be like, do you want to evolve? And it's just like, yeah, I'll do it. So it's hard to like accidentally evolve a Pokemon. So that's why there's no like stop button like in all the other games. But there's also no way to skip this. And it's a cutscene you have to watch a lot. Especially since evolving a Pokemon counts as catching it. So it unironically is a lot easier to catch a bunch of the lower stages and then just evolve them into the higher stages, unless you have to catch them in a very specific way, which then in that case then you have to catch the evolution in a very specific way. What are the Magikarps I have? Apparently so. Yeah. I like Legends Arceus. I hope Legends ZA doesn't make completing the Pokedex this repetitive and maniacal. Just evil. Ooh, it's shiny. Alpha Staravia, that's okay. Do I have a favorite band? No, I do not have a favorite band. When it comes to me listening to music, I pick out a couple of songs from an artist, and then that's it. And then I go and find another artist. I pick out a couple of songs, and then that's it. And then that's the loop I live by. So, yeah. Like, I could find a band that I like or a channel that I like, and then I only get like 2, 3 songs maybe completely out of it, and then and that's like all the music I'll ever like enjoy from that maker, because it's just so yeah. But because of that, I also don't have like a preferred genre either. Like, I listen to all kinds of things. I think the only kind of song I don't have, I think, is country. Although, I would have to double check, because I think some songs may count as some form of, like, weird-ass country, because country is country. And you can never truly avoid country, especially if you're an American like me, and thus everybody listens to country, because everything is country music if you live in America, because it's country. You listen to country music? Which one? Which country? Then I what was it? One artist I actually kind of like is it Demon Dice? They do some neat things, but that's about it. Mostly because of like one song. Using Brave Bird 40 times is gonna be such an... God, why did I have to crouch for that? South African style country. I think using all of Brave Bird will be the most annoying, because I'm gonna have to have so many ways of keeping my PowerPoints up. Because it only has 5 uses, and PP up is not a thing in this game. That's everything from the general area. Yay! I love when I just clear out sections of Pokemon unawares. Okay, you get 5 uses of Brave Bird before you're out of birds that are brave. I think mixing in specific ways to attack is gonna have to be the way I have to do things. So if I don't, then this game will take forever and I will lose my sanity. Oh, it's already 11:46. Holy crap, I've already been streaming for an hour. Dump off all my random crap. Four Stardust, that's a decent bit of cash. Accidental extinction. Oh no, I've accidentally extincted this entire species of bird. Like, how did you do that? I've just been throwing rocks for the past 47 years. The hell? Oh, it's my cat. It's my cat, my big cat Gob. He's walking around. Specifically napping evening to night to morning makes the game thinks a whole day has passed and thus will respawn Pokemon. I think the Pokemon that are going to be the most annoying to get are going to be the ones that come from distortions. Because distortions are weird, where you have to spend at least a bare minimum 40 minutes for a guaranteed spawn. So, potentially you could just be sitting in an area and then like, oh look, 40 minutes later, hey look, distortion effects, and now Pokemon spawn. any specific poison I'm looking for? None of the big boys. Ran away. I'm pretty sure. No, I know for sure. There is a side quest, which that is something I've completely just forgotten about until now. Actually, oh my god, side quests of this game. God, I forgot about the side quests. I forgot that they are real. The side quests are real. That box is shiny. I want what's in it. The shiny box. Give me the contents. Gotta do all the side quests. Which, okay, thought process. Gotta remember. One of the side quests, I'm pretty sure, is to go through, like, a gauntlet of Pokemon battles against other trainers with just a Magikarp. Just a Magikarp. And the one time I saw that, like, and someone doing it was, like, with a level 95 Magikarp. Meaning, a Magikarp needs to be taken to almost level 100. Probably with max grit. And just to do that, it's just like why even? It's just like, it's Pokemon. The joke is that Magikarp is one of the worst Pokemon ever. And you need to get it to such an absurd level to get it to solo a gauntlet. It's Magikarp. Fun fact, Magikarp and Gyarados are the only two Pokemon that can be found natively at level 100. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it's Pokemon Black and White where the battle facility or some special place in Black and White, you can fish and have an absurdly low chance of encountering a Magikarp at level 100. And then in Black and White 2, it's a level 100 Gyarados, meaning that the Magikarp evolution line is the only evolution line that can be found at level 100. So they've always kind of had this joke. Yeah, it's post game, and it's Black and White and Black and White 2 that do it, and it was, to my knowledge at least, they never brought that back. Even though it would be really funny. Even though that would be absurdly funny as a, like, to start putting back into new games, like after you become champion, just Magikarp and maybe not the Gyarados, but Magikarp will just randomly just be like level 1 to 100 at random. And I think that would be really funny to go into the wild and then encounter just a level 100 Magikarp. One tackle and it just blows up your starter Pokemon because it's only level 70 and that Magikarp's level 100. Bring it down to low enough health, next thing you know it starts hitting those flails. You just can't get to it. And upon my insane ramblings, I'm also remembering flail as in like the medieval weapon. And I'm remembering just one, how stupid a flail actually looks, and two, why a flail exists in the first place. Because To understand why a flail exists, you need to understand why the mace exists. Because armor, during the medieval times, was getting too good at resisting cuts and piercing. So, what do you do against a guy wearing basically a giant tin can that you just can't cut and stab? Easy. You take a rock, put it on a stick, and you bash the guy in the face. And thus was the invention of the mace. Literally designed to just pound metal in. And it was so effective that they had to adapt. And I heard that. No. You are staying. You do not get to. No. You do not get to leave. You do not get to leave my site. Oh, that's a shiny I just caught on stream. And that is one of my favorite things about Legends Arceus. One of my favorite things about Legends Arceus is that when a shiny Pokemon appears, it makes a noise, and it tells you that there's a shiny Pokemon. No other Pokemon game does that. No other Pokemon game will announce that a shiny Pokemon has appeared. Alright? Scarlet and Violet are absolutely terrible at telling you when a Pokemon is shiny. Luckily, I keep those balls on ready. I keep those balls on a strap at all times. I should not be saying that. I should not be saying that out loud. Oh my god. Well, I can at least say this stream had one good thing, and that's I encountered a shiny. Which, that makes it technically the second shiny I've caught. My first shiny was a shiny Geodude when I was XP farming. So, pretty cool that I found that. Getting it scarred up. Damn. Tumbleweed rolls past. God. Okay. We're going to give it one last reset. And nothing shows up, can't do anything about it. Then I'll evolve the Magikarp, go back to Jubilife, and then I'll end the stream. But before I forget, actually, I want to see my Pokemon. Where's my boy? There's my boy. Where's my boy? Should be able to search. Starly. Go for the search. All pastures. You? No. Oh my god, why can I back out of the box so easily? Grr. Where's my Starly? Yes! Yes! my boy. You going in here. If you reset the search, back out of it. Shiny Geodude. Shiny Starly. Perfect. I have 2 shiny Pokemon. Right, let's continue napping. Rest until morning. Now, let's give it one last check. Is there a Staraptor anywhere? Staraptor anywhere? No, no Staraptor. Okay, that's disappointing. Disappointing in the lack of Staraptor. So, check what's in the box. And run away from the wild Pokemon. Alright, that was the last check, so. How close am I for Staraptors anyway? I need to beat 10 more. 10 more. I'm halfway with beating them with Rock-type moves. Halfway. So, let's evolve these Magikarp. Magikarp evolved into Gyarados and got an idea for a new move. Start evolving. That will be everything. Shiny Starly. This game has really good shiny odds. This game, when it comes to shiny Pokemon, is so weird because you could like encounter a shiny, save, and then retry till you get the shiny. That is going to be it for the night. Got to understand more of the game mechanics. Got to really create a bit of a better strategy to handle everything. And understanding that I'm gonna need way more resources. Like, way more resources, so. Yeah. So, that's gonna be the end of the stream. So, hope y'all had a good night. And until next time,